Well, 2025 is officially here, and it's time for our first pickups video of the year. I want to kick things off strong, so we are going big. Over 25 games across multiple platforms, and stick around until the end because there is a surprise for you all. It's going to be a long one, so let's get right into it. This time, I'm starting with Xbox games. It's been a while since we featured an Xbox pickup, and honestly, finding a good deal on Xbox games isn't easy these days. But today, I managed to grab two. First up is Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War for the Series X. I hesitated for a while on whether to buy it since I am not a huge fan of the Black Ops series, especially Cold War, which isn't really my theme. But when you see a Call of Duty game for just $15, it's hard to pass up. Then I found out it requires 240 GB of storage, which is ridiculous. Now I'm not even sure if I want to install it on my Series X. Maybe after I clear some of my backlog first. The second one is a $10 Korean game, Anno 1800 Console Edition. I've been a huge fan of this series since my teenage years, playing it on PC, therefore I've had my eye on this one since launch. I have never seen the PS5 edition drop below $20, so getting it for $10 is definitely a great deal. Now I'm curious to see how it performs on console. I also picked up a couple more $10 games along with those Xbox titles, so let's check them out together. Finally, I got Assassin's Creed Origins. Why do I say finally? Well, this is actually my second time buying this game. About 2 years ago, I ordered a copy online, but the package was stolen. Fortunately, I got a refund from the retailer, but I couldn't find another copy at a reasonable price until now. Origins is the first game in the series to adopt the new gameplay mechanics. I really enjoy Odyssey, so I have always wanted to go back and play Origins. Now I just need to watch for a good deal on the season pass. Next up is a Switch game, L.O.L Surprise Movie Night. Unlike Born to Travel, which we covered last year, Movie Night is a Switch exclusive. At first, I wondered why, but then I realized both games have different publishers. Normally, I buy these kinds of games for trophies or achievements, but since Nintendo doesn't have a system for that, I picked this one up mainly for collecting. $10 for a Switch exclusive title isn't too bad, and it even comes with a little charm inside. Next, we have the most expensive game I picked up this time. Final Fantasy 126 Collection Anniversary Edition. If you collect PS4 games, you probably know this has been one of the high-value titles in recent years. However, thanks to a reprint last November, I managed to snag a copy for $45. I've never played any of these old-school Final Fantasy games before. Getting all 6 platinums will probably take over 200 hours. Therefore, I might need to set aside a whole month just to finish them. Up next, we have another JRPG, Mercenaries Lament Requiem of the Silver Wolf. I saw it on sale for $25 and decided to give it a try. This is a tactical RPG and the latest installment in the Mercenaries series. Normally, physical releases for this series in North America have been exclusive to the Switch, but Requiem of the Silver Wolf marks the first game in the series to get a physical release on PlayStation. Definitely looking forward to playing it. Next, we have another Origins, Sonic Origins Plus. If you watch my shorts about why I hate buying games from Best Buy, this is the exchange copy I ended up with. The game was only $20, and with the $5 certificate Best Buy gave me, I got it for just $15. This collection includes 16 classic Sonic titles and even comes with an art book. You might be surprised. I have never played a Sonic game before. This is definitely a great opportunity for me to experience these classics for the first time. Next up is a $20 puzzle game, Cocoon. I already finished it on Xbox, but I followed an achievement guide. The only reason I play games like this is for trophies or achievements. Since my job involves a lot of problem solving and troubleshooting, I don't really want to spend my free time solving puzzles. Don't get me wrong, Cocoon is actually a solid puzzle game. The developers previously worked on Inside and Limbo, so you know it has quality behind it. Personally, I found this game very challenging. Without a guide, I probably wouldn't have been able to finish it. Next up is a completely blind purchase, Paper Grinder. You might think it's a cooking simulator, but it's actually a 2D platformer. It was only $12, so I figured why not. The game has received generally positive reviews, but it's known to be quite challenging. I wouldn't necessarily call the next few games rare, but they are either hard to find or only available from specific retailers. First up is the horror game Monster is Dead. I thought this game had sold out a long time ago, but last year I found out it had been restocked. It was priced at $30, slightly over my budget. Considering how hard it is to find now, I decided to go for it. The game is in first person, so it leans toward the walking simulator style. However, the PlayStation version has some censorship, which is a bit of a laydown. Still, I'm glad I was able to add this one to my collection. Next is Anodyne 2 Return to Dust. Originally released as a digital-only title on PlayStation in 2021. A physical edition arrived at the end of 2023. It's an action-adventure game, but what makes it stand out is its mix of 2D and 3D gameplay elements. I picked it up for $29, not exactly cheap, but since it's only available at specific retailers, there were not many other options. Next up is a 3DS game. Yeah, you hear that right. A brand new 3DS game in 2025. I picked up Harvest Moon, The Tale of Two Towns directly from Natsumi. It's not my first time buying from them, but it is my first purchase from their official store. The game was $30 plus an extra $6 for shipping. This is one of the OG Harvest Moon titles, known as Story of Seasons today. Lately, I've been looking to add more 3DS games to my collection, but at this point, not many retailers still carry them. Natsumi might be the only publisher still selling brand new 3DS games. Since we are already talking about Natsumi, I have two more games published by them. First up, another Harvest Moon title, Harvest Moon Mad Dash. This is not the farming simulation game you might expect. It's actually a puzzle game, which is what caught my interest. I'm glad Natsumi decided to take a different approach with this one. Their Harvest Moon games haven't exactly been top tier, so trying something new might be a good move. I got it for $16, but the package looks pretty beat up. Probably something they found sitting in a warehouse corner. Next up is Real Fishing Road Trip Adventure. Real Fishing is an old series, and I've always wanted to give it a try. I remember almost picking up a Real Fishing game for the original PlayStation about 9 years ago. Obviously, this is a fishing simulation game, but it got a fair share of negative reviews. Not sure if I made the right decision, but at least it's not a hard play now. For $17, I would say it's a pretty reasonable price. We have crossed the halfway mark, so you know what? Let's check out some indie games. First up, we have Desolation for both PS4 and PS5. What a strange title. Initially, I was only planning to get the PS5 edition, but then I found out the PS4 version isn't available on the PlayStation Store. Being a physical copy is the only way to own it. Since each version was only $15, I figured why not grab both. Desolation is a point-and-click adventure game that received a lot of negative reviews, but since it's from Sodesco, I cannot say I'm surprised. Alright, we have another game from Sodesco, Brownie Park. First things first, the PS5 version has glitchy trophies, so if you are a trophy hunter, you will want to avoid it. This is a simulation game where you manage a bounty park. It actually looks pretty fun, and the concept is unique. I picked it up for $11, not a bad deal at all. Next up, we have a puzzle platformer, Tendon, A Tale of Shadows. This is another game I thought was sold out, but it was restocked last year. It's the type of game where you switch between two characters to solve puzzles. The art style is captivating and the story is engaging. Even though it's not very well known, it has received plenty of positive reviews. We have another simulation game here, Fun Together Deluxe Edition. I found it on Koreans for just $14. One of its big selling points is the multiplayer feature, where you can visit other players' phones. The Deluxe Edition includes all 10 game expansions, making it a solid value overall. Next up, we have a DualShock 4 in Camel Green. I paid $59 for it, basically full price. Now you might be wondering, why buy a DualShock 4 in 2025, especially when I have already moved to PS5? Well, here are a few things you should know. First, the DualSense isn't compatible with the PS4. So if you ever need to go back to PS4, you will need a DualShock 4. More importantly, the DualShock 4 works with PSTV, and that's the main reason I picked this one up. I already have two spare DualShock 4, but I accidentally dropped one last year. It still works, but something just feels off. Therefore, I decided to grab another one. Next up is probably the most exciting game in this video, Stellar Blade. I have had my eye on this one since launch and finally decided to pull the trigger at $40. Since it's selling really well, I highly doubt we will see a huge discount anytime soon. Stellar Blade shares some similarities with Souls-like games, but it's more forgiving. And of course, the big selling point, the character design. This is the kind of game worth supporting. One more simulation game, and I swear it's the last one. My Life Pet Vet. This one reminds me of my universe, Pet Clinic, Cats and Dogs. I feel like the gameplay should be very similar. Basically, a whole bunch of QTEs. For $15, it's an easy addition to the collection. When talking about the history of Alone in the Dark, it all started with the original release in 1992. This is a horror series with a long history, and the PS5 game is a reimagining of that classic. I saw it in store for $30 last December, slightly over my budget, but since it was sold out in many places at the time, I decided to grab it. This is a series I have always been interested in. The game looks beautiful and the atmosphere is outstanding. Also, I believe it has been restocked, so you should be able to find it easily now. Another horror game, Still Wakes the Deep. It was developed by the British studio, The Chinese Run, best known for Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. The gameplay leans toward stealth with no combat. For just $20, I figured why not give it a shot. Alright, let me see how many games are left. Looks like we still have a few more to go. Next up is a Switch exclusive, Bayonetta Origins, Cerisa and the Lost Demon. Well, looks like we have another Origins here. This one serves as a prequel to the mainline Bayonetta series, and you can immediately tell the art style is quite different. I wasn't planning to pick this up since I'm not a huge Bayonetta fan. I played the first game on Xbox 360 and it wasn't really my cup of tea. However, for just $25, it seems like a reasonable price for a Switch exclusive. Therefore, I figured why not give it a try. A couple more exciting games to go, and there's a little surprise. I was pretty upset when Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth released a DLC with trophies. That's why I didn't pick it up during last Black Friday sale. But the other day, I saw the game drop to 1750, and at that price, I figured it was low enough to cover the cost of the DLC, which I just grabbed for $10. They have officially changed the series name from Yakuza to Like a Dragon, although in Asia it's always been called Like a Dragon anyway. I still remember when Yakuza 4 was given away as a free PS Plus game. That's how most Western players first got introduced to the series. Last but not least, Sandland. This game is based on the manga of the same name, created by Akira Toriyama. Being one of the last projects he worked on makes it even more special. I wasn't expecting a physical release in North America, considering Sandland isn't exactly mainstream here and only has one volume. I grabbed it for $20 during Black Friday, but since it was back ordered, it took a month to finally arrive. Sandland is an action RPG that closely follows the original manga storyline. On top of that, it introduces the Forest Land storyline, which wasn't in the manga. Definitely a must-play for fans of Sandland or Akira Toriyama. Alright, today we covered the 26 games. Now it's time for the surprise. Over the past year, I've added a lot of games to my collection, which means there is a huge backlog of games waiting to be unboxed, especially PS4 games. If I could, I would love to unbox every single one this year. Of course, that's not exactly realistic, but I do have a plan. I want to upload twice a week more often, so for the entire month of March, we will be doing 2 uploads per week. And for this year's channel anniversary, there's something big in the works, so stay tuned. There's a lot of exciting content coming your way. This video has been long enough, so let's wrap it up here. Take care and I will see you soon.